Oh, sorry, that was just things me and my bestie have in common. Didn't mean to impose on you guys. You know what they say, birds of a feather. But there's something fishy going on here. Because I want you to tell me something. Tell me if this description sounds familiar to you guys. Godlike, knowledgeable about Notlon, mysterious, glowing black and white color scheme, and speaks like a boomer. Well, yes, this description suspiciously matches Capitana to a T. More importantly, who I was actually describing were the envoys of the Night Kingdom, the Wyeb, Notlon's resident godlike entities that are worshipped by the 6 tribes of Notlon, and interestingly, are said to have come from below.
We believe the Wyeb dwell beneath the earth, while the Pyro Archon hails from above. We hold regular gatherings here, actually. Our chief recounts and interprets dreams relating to our Wyeb to decipher its will. The Wyeb know the past and can foresee the future. Isn't that extraordinary?
Y'all ever seen Cabin in the Woods? That fantastic horror movie? Anytime I think underground gods, I just think of them. Could you imagine a gigantic war against the Abyss, or even just like a war versus Celestia? Celestia tries to just nail Notlon and the Wyebs just awaken like it's time. That'd be a fight for the ages, huh? Or maybe not, because so far as we know, the Wyebs don't have a physical form. But before we discuss the fucking, I don't know, substance of a Wyeb, we must first ask ourselves, what is a Wyeb? Well, there's different answers, but also no answers. Makes no sense, right? Perfect. Just like the Wyeb intended. What is a Wyeb? It's the shape of the shapeless. Makes no sense, right? Perfect. Just like the Wyeb intended. What is a Wyeb? It's a compass that points both everywhere and nowhere. Makes no sense, right? Perfect. Just like the Wyeb intended. My friends, what is a Wyeb? It's a homeless person calling you broke. Makes no sense, right? Perfect. Just like the Wyeb intended. Yeah, this whole bit was just because, bro, I'm still salty. Last night, I was just going for a walk, a peaceful walk, minding my own business, and a homeless nigga asked me for money. I didn't have money on me. He calls me bro. You live in the trenches of Methadone Mall, you fucking... Man, let me not, bro. In the Knights to the Knights, What is the Knights World Quest, our good pal Legba tells us, quote, as I said before, the Wyeb amass the will of departed guardians. They are great yet chaotic and obtruse by comparison, just like their realm, the Night Kingdom. It's also according to this Legba that the Night Kingdom and the Wyebs themselves became known to the people of Notlon around the time the Pyro Sovereign ruled Notlon. Quote, legend has it that in the days after the dragon with blazing wings awoke from within its volcano, wretched humanity could but barely eke out survival from between its great fangs, claws, and the great banner-like span of its wings, and in the meantime, the Abyss's influence only grew and grew. In that most perilous of times, they say some tribespeople saw, in a trance, the obsidian branches that remained even in the deepest nights. The Wyeb also gradually took shape during that time, totems and consciousnesses created by the congregation of each tribe's living and dead. Now, despite the Wyeb being shapeless, should one anger a Wyeb, they will be met with a manifestation of the Wyeb's will according to each Wyeb. Their description tells us a bit more about the Wyeb, but not a crazy amount. Quote, the people of Notlon believe that the Wyeb dwell in the kingdom of the Lord of the Night and have no fixed form, instead attaching themselves to anything in order to provide guidance to lost tribespeople. Another tells us, quote, the so-called Wyeb is the belief that gradually formed primarily from the tribes and obsidian totems after the people of Notlon began communicating with the kingdom of the Lord of the Night. A Wyeb is a consciousness of collective thoughts in the home of the ancestor souls. You know, it's the Wyeb, by the way, who are behind a long-standing mystery in all of Teyvat. Why don't we see people from Notlon in other nations? And the answer is because the Wyeb cannot protect them in other nations. Mavuika tells us this.
Our people's survival is inextricably tied to the Wyeb, but their power has its limits. They cannot offer our people the same degree of protection outside our borders. In fact, people who do decide to leave often suffer from memory loss and emotional issues. Everyone in Natlan understands this. That's why our people never leave without a good cause. Even if someone is left with no choice, the chief of their tribe must seek approval with the Wayab to grant them leave. And the Wayab have always been very strict about granting that approval, since extending protection beyond our borders means consuming power reserved for our fight against the Abyss.
Yeah, this is a nation of frauds, by the way. They won't fight the Abyss without the Ode of Resurrection. They won't leave Natlan because they don't have the Wayab's protection. Bro, if it doesn't have the word Shin at the end of it, they don't want anything to do with the fucking thing, alright, bro? Bro, y'all are not take fighters. Get y'all out of it. The Wayab reside entirely in the Night's Kingdom and are said to have a main totem that acts as the hub for their consciousness. In addition to one main totem, they have many smaller totem poles spread throughout the Night's Kingdom that allow them to exert their mind over the entire Night's Kingdom. We actually managed to speak to one of the Wayabs, the Wayab of the Children of the Echoes, after cleansing one of its smaller proxy totem poles.
I hear your voice, Kachina, my dear child.
Now, something noteworthy the Wayab can do is read the past and the future. Now, this is interesting because I'd wager part of this omniscience is due in part to the Night's Kingdom, which acts as Natlan's ley lines, meaning the Night's Kingdom should be storing the memories of this land just like the ley lines do in other nations. Further backing the idea that the Night's Kingdom does hold the memories of this land is the fact that when the Cataclysm first struck Natlan, each disaster that befell the tribe was unique to them, meaning the Abyss really knew how to hurt the tribes. Mualani chalked this up to the Abyss having invaded the Night's Kingdom, stating that because of it, the Abyss were now able to read the land.
Our tribe's waters were contaminated. The Children of Echoes territory was overrun by dangerous sludge surging from underground. Unrelenting black winds tore across the lands of the Flower Feather clan. It was like each disaster was designed for a specific tribe. Exactly. We once thought that the Abyss's desire for destruction was a sort of primal instinct, but its methods are, in truth, marked by intelligence. We now believe the Abyss has invaded the Night Kingdom, and has the capacity to read the memories of this land at any given moment.
This is interesting, because if one were to somehow access or read these memories themselves, then it would allow them to see Natlan's past, and maybe, just maybe, witness an oath made by the Pyro Archon 500 years ago and determine if it was unfulfilled. I wonder if there's a certain someone who knows a little too much about Natlan, so much so that it even surprises the heroes, and anything about an oath made 5 centuries ago that may or may not be unfulfilled.
The oath made 5 centuries ago remains unfulfilled.
While I don't think that Capitano is a Wayab, him having a connection to the Night's Kingdom seems like it could be likely. One thing worth pointing out is, although the Night's Kingdom is essentially the land of the dead and a place where the Wayab reside, there are other entities there, namely the cat we met when we put 2 Conrian soldiers to rest. Following the battle with the Conrians, we were sent to the Night's Kingdom where we met a cat who was called the Beast with Fur like that of Night. The cat just speaks in fucking riddles, bro. Like it's the fucking 13th century, the cat is just speaking in riddles, dog. What are these sentences, man? Regardless, I implore thee, the name of the Night's Kingdom is the Kingdom of the Lord of the Night. Who is this Lord of the Nights, my friends? These are the real questions. While the Wayab do certainly reside in the Night's Kingdom, as we can see, they most certainly are not the only ones. The Abyss are present in the Night's Kingdom. This cat is present in the Night's Kingdom. So we must ask ourselves, who else is present in the Night's Kingdom and knows how to read and manipulate these memories of Natlan?